Good morning, everyone. This is Honor Rana here, your social science teacher from Cambridge International School, Dasua. I welcome you all in today's session. I hope you all are happy, healthy, safe at your home. So, dear children, as nowadays we are doing the revision of the syllabus, and today we are going to do the revision of history, chapter 4 and 5 collectively. So let's start, and first of all we are going to discuss history chapter 4, that is what books and burials tell us. So today I have just brought few question answers, and we are going to discuss these question answers here. So the first question that is related to Vedas, and as this chapter deals with the Veda and especially the Rig Veda. So the my first question is from the Veda. How many types of Vedas are there? Name them. I hope everybody is aware of this answer. There are four types of Vedas: Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda. Now, the next question is, which is the oldest Veda? The oldest Veda is Rig Veda. Next question, when was it composed? It was composed about 3500 years ago. Question number 4, what do you mean by Sukta? There are many suktas in Rig Veda, so it's very important to know what is sukta. Sukta means well said, or we can say these are the praise words. Okay, and these were the hymns which were in praise of various gods and goddesses. Question number 5. In which language was Rig Veda composed? Your answer is the Rig Veda was composed in Old or Vedic Sanskrit. Okay, this Old or Vedic Sanskrit, it is totally different from the Sanskrit which nowadays we are studying in the school. So this one is totally different. And one interesting thing that the Rig Veda, it was not written down earlier. It was just taught by the priest, and the students, they have to just listen it, they have to hear it, and then they have to recite it. They have to learn it. That was the only way of teaching teaching this Rig Veda. Question number 6. How many families of languages are described in this chapter? So answer is, in this chapter there are 4 families of the languages. Now the next question, question number 7, to which family does the Sanskrit language belong? Answer is Indo-European family. Question number 8, why the battles were fought? In this chapter we have also read like the battles were fought. So the battles were fought for land, water, to capture people and cattle. Now next question is also related to this. How were the horses used in battles? Answer is, horses were yoked to chariots which were used in battles. Next question, question number 10. How are the people described on the basis of their work? In the chapter we have read that the people, they were described on the basis of like their work, on the basis of community, and on some other basis, but here we are talking about the work. So on the basis of work, the people were divided into 2 groups. One is the priest and other one is rajas. How were the people and community described as a whole? The 2 words which were used to describe the people or the community as a whole, one was jana and the other was vish. Next question, as you can see in this image also, yes, so it is related to this. Define megalith. So megalith, as we can see here also, that megalith, these are the big stones. Okay, and these are known as the megalith, and these were used to mark the burial site. Question number 13. When was the practice of erecting megaliths begin? Answer is the practice of erecting megaliths began about 3000 years ago. Next question, question number 14. Where was the practice of erecting megaliths prevalent? And the answer is it was prevalent throughout the Deccan, South India, and in the North, East, and Kashmir. Question number 15. Were there social differences in status amongst the people who were worried? How the archaeologist can say that there were the social differences? So this also we have read in the chapter, like archaeologists, they have found so many things, like the rich people, they were worried with more gold beads, stone beads, copper bangles, etc., whereas the poor people, they were worried with only a few pots. So when the archaeologists, they have excavated this burial site, then they came to know that, like with some skeleton there was so many things, and with some skeletons there were very few things. So this shows that, like earlier time also there was a different social difference in the status. Few people were rich and few were poor. Okay, and next question, question number 16. In what ways are the books we read today different from the Rig Veda? Okay, that this is also a very interesting question, and answer, you might be aware, like the books we use are written and printed. Okay, like whatever the books you have in your syllabus, these all are in the written form or in the printed form, while the Rig Veda was recited and heard rather than read. Okay, because I have discussed it earlier also, it was not written. Okay, only the priest they are teaching it, and the students they have to listen it, they have to recite it, they have to learn it, and then they are going to recite it. In this way the Rig Veda was taught. It was written down several centuries after it was first composed, and it was printed less than 200 years ago. Okay, so this is the difference between the books we read today and the earlier books. So dear children, in this chapter mainly focuses on the Rig Veda. Okay, although there were the four Vedas, but this chapter it deals mainly with the Rig Veda, and then so many things about Rig Veda. What does it consist? How many hands were there? It was written in the Vedic. It was composed in the Vedic Sanskrit. Okay, it was recited and heard rather than read. And then we have also came to know about the family of the languages. There were the four families, and the Sanskrit belonged to Indo-European family. Then we have also discussed about the battles, like the battles were fought, and the horses they were also used in the battles, and like the different word jana and vish, as well as the raja and priest, these were the different words which were used to describe the people. These are the various things which we have read in this chapter, and one very interesting thing that we have read here, that were the megaliths which were used to mark the burial sites. So I hope I have tried to cover most of the things. Okay, and now we can start history chapter 5, that is kingdoms, kings, and an early republic. Dear children, in this chapter, we have mainly discussed about the Janpadas and Mahajanpadas, and how men became Rajas about 3000 years ago. Then we have also discussed about like the different Mahajanpadas, and two of them we have discussed. One was the Magad and other was the Vaji. So here we are going to do the quick revision with the help of some question answers. So the first question for you is, how did some men become rulers about 3000 years ago? As I have discussed, this chapter starts with this one topic only. So about 3000 years ago, men are recognized as rajas by performing the big sacrifices, and one of such sacrifice was the Ashwamedha sacrifice. As you can see, there is one horse on your screen, and this horse was made ready for the Ashwamedha sacrifice. How the people have been divided in the later Vedic period. Later Vedic period means this period, here we are mainly talking about the when the other three Vedas they were composed. Okay, and the Vedic period, it was mainly considered the time period when there was the composition of Rig Veda. So in the later Vedic period, the priests divided the people into four groups on the basis of their work, and we call this division as the Varnas. Okay, so the next question is question number 3. Name the four Varnas. So answer is, first one is Brahmin, second one is Kshatriyas, third is Vaishyas, and fourth is Shudras. Even you can see in this picture also, there are Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. And Brahmins means the people, those who are the priests and the teachers. Kshatriyas were the kings and the warriors. Vaishyas were the agriculturists and the merchants. We can call them trader also, farmers, traders. Shudras, these were the laborer. Okay, and they were serving the other three classes. So I hope this varna is clear to everybody. There are four varnas. Again, I am repeating: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Now the next question is question number 4. What were Janpadas and Mahajanpadas? So Janpadas literally means the land where the Jana set its foot and settled on. Okay, these were the small kingdoms where people lived about 3000 years ago, or we can call them small kingdom also. Okay, where the people they were living earlier about 3000 years ago. Next is Mahajanpada. Mahajanpadas were the big kingdoms which were emerged from the Janpadas about 2500 years ago. When these Janpadas they tried to expand their territories, when they try to become more powerful, when they try to capture some other Janpadas also. So in this way they were emerged as the important Janpadas, and later on they become the Mahajanpadas. I hope this is clear. Janpadas and Mahajanpadas. Janpadas they were 3000 years ago, and Mahajanpadas they were emerged about 2500 years ago. Now next question is, it is related to one picture, and this thing I have discussed earlier also. Like there are so many pictures given in your book, so there can be any question related to these pictures. So try to read these all pictures carefully, and whatever caption is given there, please read those details also. So what type of pottery is shown in the given picture? And the answer is painted grey ware. So why it is called painted grey ware? Because it is of grey color. Okay, and as you can see there were some designs also on it, so some painting or some geometrical patterns and some other designs they were there, and it is very smooth. Okay, it is polished also, and this type of pottery it was used for like especially they were preparing the plates and the bowls, and these were used by the special people, very important people on the special occasions. Next question is, what were the two major changes in the agriculture? So as agriculture is also the important part of the Mahajanpadas, so there were two changes in the agriculture. One was the use of iron plowshare, and the second was the transplanting of paddy crops. Okay, as you can see in these images also, one is showing the iron plowshare, and second one in this image the transplanting of paddy crops is done. So these both were the changes in the agriculture, and these both had helped to increase the agriculture production. Next is the question number 7. Why did the rulers collected taxes? So the rulers of Mahajanpada needed more resources to build huge forts and to maintain big armies, and for these purposes they were collecting the taxes from the people. Question number 8. Who paid taxes to rulers? So the people, those who were living in the kingdom, they were paying taxes to the ruler. such as farmers, craft persons, herders, traders, and hunter gatherers. These all are paying taxes to the ruler in the different form. Question number 9. Which was the most powerful Mahajanpada among all? So, dear children, as we have discussed, there were so many Mahajanpadas like Avanti, Kuru, Magdha, Vaji, Koshala, Anga, and many others. But among these all, Magad became the most powerful Mahajanpada. Okay, and there were many reasons behind this. Like there were its powerful rulers also. Then there were like the two rivers which also helped. Okay, and there was the forest area also, there were the minerals also, and so many other things which helped Magad to grow it as a powerful Mahajanpada. Next question is question number 10, that is, name the two most powerful rulers of Magad. So, as I have discussed, Magad has the most powerful rulers. One was Bimbisara and other was Ajatasattu. And these were the most powerful rulers of Magad, and they have tried all the possible means to expand their kingdom. Next is question number 11. Which form of government was there in Magad? In Magad, there was monarchical form of government, and this we have discussed in civics chapter 3 also. What is government? Two forms of government we have discussed there. One is monarchical and other is democracy. So next is question number 12. Which was the capital of Magad for several years? So its correct answer is Rajgriha. Okay, and present day we are calling that Rajgir, and it was the capital of Magad for several years. Then we have also studied that later it was shifted to Patliputra. Patliputra, which nowadays we call Patna. Okay, that is the capital of Bihar also nowadays. So later on, Patliputra became the capital of Magad. Next question, which rivers flowed through Magad? Okay, so as I have discussed, there were the rivers which helped Magad to emerge as the most powerful Mahajanpada, and these rivers were, one was Ganga and other was the Son river. So this was our 13th question. Now next question, question number 14. Which type of government was there in Vaji kingdom? So dear children, as I have told you about the Magad kingdom and the Vaji kingdom earlier also, like these were the two powerful kingdom, but these both have the different form of government. As in Magad we have the monarchical form of government. In Magad it was under the Gana or Sangha. So there may be one question in your mind, what is Gana or Sangha? So Gana or Sangha, we can define it as an association or an organization of the people. Okay, Gana or Sangha means an association or an organization of the people. Question number 15. Which was the capital of Vaji? So your answer is, its capital was Vaishali, which is also in Bihar. Okay. Next question is question number 16, that is, how the matters were decided in the Ganas. So as we have discussed, like Ganas means an association or an organization. So Vaji was a kingdom. Okay, and in this kingdom there were many Ganas, at least 8 Ganas were there, and these all Ganas have their own king. And whenever they have to decide about anything, then these all rajas of these Ganas, they met in assemblies. Okay, and then with the help of debate and discussions, they are deciding the matters. Okay, let me repeat again. The rajas of these Ganas, they met in assemblies, and then they debate and discuss, and then they decide the matters. Okay, and then the decision is taken. And as we were talking about Vaji, so Vaji is also a kingdom, but it consists of 8 Ganas. Okay, and these 8 Ganas, they have their own different rajas. and whenever they have to take any decision, they all they all met, and then they discussed the things, and that decision is applicable to all those ganas, okay, those who are the part of that particular kingdom. So, dear children, today in this chapter, chapter 5, that is Kingdoms, Kings, and an Early Republic, today we have done the revision, and we have tried to do the quick revision with the help of some question answers. Today we have discussed about Janpadas and Mahajanpadas and how some men became the rulers about 3000 years ago by performing the big sacrifices, and one of such sacrifice was the Ashwamedha sacrifice. Then we have discussed what were the changes in the agriculture, and why the rulers they were collecting taxes, what type of taxes were collected from the different people. We have also discussed like how the society was divided into different varnas, okay, on the basis of their work. And last topic which we have discussed, that was the two kingdom, one was the Magad and other was Vaji. Both have the different form of government. So at last I just want to say, take care of yourself, prepare well for your exam, and take proper rest also. Okay, all the best. Thank you all. Have a nice day.